In the first videos, we talked about magnetism overall. What is it? And the basic principle behind it. Then we discussed the reality of the law of attraction and the different components of personal magnetism. In this video, we'll finally discuss the whole concept of energy that is filled with confusions and mythical stories surrounding it that are doing more harm than good. So we'll discuss what exactly is energy. Can you actually feel it? Is this such a mysterious concept as everyone makes it out to be? Well, energy does seem like a mysterious or a strange or esoteric concept where you need to go to a faraway land and do some weird exercises to be able to feel it. But it's actually a lot easier and simple than that. Anyone can feel energy at any time. It's an ever-present reality in your body. The problem is that you don't identify it as such. I'll tell you a simple example of energy at work. It's an interesting study by Antonio Damasio. In this study, participants are connected with biofeedback sensors and they are presented with 4 decks of cards. They are told that each deck holds cards that will either reward or penalize them, using game money, of course. The goal of the game is to win as much money as possible. The decks differ from each other in the balance of reward versus penalty cards. Thus, some decks are bad decks and other decks are good decks. Because some decks will tend to reward the player more often than the other ones. Obviously, the participants don't know that when they begin the game. Most LT participants sample cards from each deck, and after about 40 or 50 selections, they are fairly good at sticking to the good decks. However, the interesting thing is that measurement of galvanic skin response, which is one of the measured biofeedback responses, shows that healthy participants show a stress reaction to hovering over the bad decks after only 10 trials, long before the conscious realization that those decks are bad. So there's an unconscious reaction to what we know it's bad far earlier than when we first consciously acknowledge it. In other words, there's something that we now shall name the unconscious that sends a signal to the body to warn you about something. That signal is energy. The reaction is energy. What you feel in the body is energy in action. It's not much more than this. Think about electricity. You click a light switch and light comes on. Electricity is activated when you press that light switch. Same thing here. Something pressed a button in your unconscious mind, energy manifests itself. This study not only confirms the gut feelings that we usually have, but also the mysterious importance of energy awareness. The unconscious reaction is nothing more than an energetic reaction manifest in the body. These are the internal movements of this force that we call energy, that you are able to feel and connect with. Although I've never done this experiment, I would make an educated guess that someone with energy sensitivity and awareness would start to avoid the bad decks much earlier, since he or she would be much more in tune with the energy inside his body and his reactions. You may argue that this is only a sympathetic activation of your nervous system, giving this sweating reply in the galvanic skin response, and this has nothing to do with some esoteric energetic response. And if you think of energy as an esoteric, mysterious force, then yes, it's hard to argue otherwise, since it will always be mysterious. But we consider it as a part of your body, part of its natural response, and something that we all have, and it's present inside of you at all times. Your sympathetic nervous system gets activated through an energy and unleashes a different type of energy in your body that provokes bodily reactions, which are in turn more energy. So yes, energy is what is moving your body around. Energy will always provoke bodily reaction. It will always have bodily manifestation that you can eventually measure. Naturally, the galvanic skin response is not the only one. It's one of the only few that we can measure, although some sensors for it probably weren't invented yet. I doubt that we are able to scientifically measure all aspects of these energetic movements. This is quite evident in the Chinese tradition. The term energy also has several definitions and different types associated with bodily organs and their reactions. They name it qi. The Chinese use qi in different kinds of domains. It's not limited to energetic practices or traditional Chinese medicine. It's also related to everyday life, like connections to emotions and mental states. For example, Too many worries can cause damage to your spleen, and they are the result of a qi problem in your spleen. Or unordered qi is associated with being frightened and heart damage. Then we have different types of qi, like for example, chen qi, which is usually associated with the spirit and often with the blood. Then we have gu qi, which derives from food. Then we have the qi of each organ, qi from the lungs, the liver, the spleen, and so on. Each body part has a specific type of qi, and each body reaction is also a different type of qi. A similar division happens in the Ayurvedic tradition and in most of the energetic traditions. So, energy, or qi, or prana, is far from a mysterious or weird force, but instead, it's in the very reactions of our body that we all have and we can all feel at any moment of our day. The more we can let go of the concept of energy as a mysterious and weird force, and the more we can normalize it in our body reactions, the more we are able to actually use it. So in Charisma School, we develop your awareness to be able to feel the different aspects of it. Hence, your body and the feelings inside of it are an essential and crucial aspect of energy awareness. Every cell needs to awaken to the power of your awareness. Your body is where everything happens, the good, the bad, and the ugly. The problem is when you don't feel it, which is the usual state of being unaware and unconscious. Awareness of most of the signs that your body sends you is not exactly normal. They usually pass you by, unless they hit you in the head like a ton of bricks. In other words, unless it's an intense feeling, whether negative, like any pain, or positive, just like those from sexual activity, everything else gets lost. But intense feelings are only one possible sign of your body. There's a whole range of other subtle signs that are also very important, yet they go straight under the radar, just like the experiment I just told you about. Everyone feels energy, but people rarely feel it as energy per se. They just describe their effects with a simple word. For example, everyone, without exception, feels a dense, downward energy movement on a daily basis, and quite an heavy one, so much that it caused them to lose consciousness. I'm talking about going to sleep. You'll notice that when you start to fall asleep, your energy gets heavier, denser, and has a downward energy movement, particularly from your forehead to your eyes. But it also happens across your whole body. This energy movement is quite noticeable that it's even in our language, you always talk about falling asleep. It's downward. When you are tired, it's the same, but not so intense, since you can still walk around and have conversations with people even if you are tired. But the energy movement and the energy quality are there. Normal everyday people only mention that they are tired or sleepy. Yet, someone with energy awareness can pinpoint exactly what is being tired and where do they feel it in the body, what's the energy quality, the aspects of that energy, and so on. This is the same when you are really happy and joyful. There's an upward energy movement in all happiness. Everything inside of them is going up, while when someone is tired, everything in them is going down. And you notice this even in the body language if you don't know how to feel energy. In common language, when someone is happy, you can say that they are really up, or when someone is depressed, you say that they are really down. You can think of a smile, for example. In the ends of the lips go up, the eyes, the wrinkles of the head, everything goes up, while on a sad face, everything goes down. A depression is a constant downward energy movement. That's why tiredness and constantly being asleep is a common symptom of depression. You usually know how you feel. Tired, sleepy, happy, joyful, and so on. It's just hard to describe exactly what you feel inside that makes you feel like that. So when you start to learn this vocabulary, and when you start to look at your body and its reactions from this energetic viewpoint, you can look at reality from a whole new different perspective. This way, energy can give you deeper insights than your rational mind can. But unfortunately, we often only catch up much later to something that our body has been telling us way earlier, and sometimes not at all. I know we live in a world where the rational is king. Everything else is less important. But I'm challenging this notion. In fact, I even go the other way around. Our thoughts, beliefs, attitudes, and behaviors are mostly felt before in our energy and body, and only then in our rational mind, where we create a story to justify our unconscious feelings. In other words, we feel first and think later. If you don't connect with your body, you are losing a very rich source of information. You are staying only in a superficial layer of what you can discover. Once you become aware of your energy dynamics, you'll find an essential key in whatever you do. It's a lot easier to work with your body than against it. You could eat a big meal before a workout, still push hard and have a good workout, sure. But isn't it easier to eat a lighter one or a proper meal for the effort that you are about to make? Naturally, yes. Yet we keep insisting on working against our bodies in many different situations. Or worse, we don't even know what's making our body or our mind in a certain way. There's an ongoing awareness training about how our body reacts to certain situations: food, drinks, physical activity, sleep, and so forth. Everything that can affect your body should naturally be observed. If you are unaware that pasta and bread are making you sleepy, you'll eat them even when you need to be awake. While if you are aware of this reaction, you may decide whether you want to eat them or not based on the situation that you find yourself in. It won't be a big deal to eat a big bowl of pasta on a weekend when you plan to enjoy a relaxing time at home. But doing so won't be a great idea when you have an important meeting after lunch. I know it seems like an obvious example, but our lives are filled with things that we do working against our body that we are unaware of, just like the one above. Sometimes simple food can tremendously impact your mental and energetic state, yet you may not know it. Or a physical training regime can be particularly good for your concentration. Still, you don't know what causes that great concentration because you are unaware. Maybe you only have a general idea of today I feel good or today I feel bad. But we can go a lot deeper than this, including in observing the outside influences. You might think of your energy as something almost insulated from outside influences and interaction. You may even believe external influences may happen, but it's rare. After all, not many interactions cause a significant impact on you that can be felt for days. But it's a bit different. Instead, the energy that you feel in your body is constantly influenced by your surroundings. Your energy is very easily changed when you interact with someone. Just think about how often an interaction made you feel slightly worse or better or different. It's every single one. Most likely, there's not a single interaction that won't impact you. Some in a smaller way, some bigger, but they all have an impact. You may not remember that impact. You may not consciously register, but it will happen. If you are energetically aware, notice what happens with your energy after each interaction. Notice how you feel, how your energy changes. Even something as simple as someone stopping you in the street to ask for a survey and you saying no. We can barely classify this as an interaction. After all, you only said no and continue away. But depending on your energetic reactions, many things can happen inside. Maybe you immediately contract something inside of you due to an unconscious fear. Or perhaps the person who stopped you was attractive and some sexual energy was awoken in you. Or maybe you have felt a slight decrease in your energetic power for feeling annoyed. It may have been a minimal impact, barely noticeable to you, but it happened. And many minor impacts throughout the day generate a significant effect at the end of your day, and you can feel its consequences the next day. The most crucial point is, whether we like it or not, others can easily influence our energy throughout our day. If you are unaware of it, external events can easily control you. In other words, if you do not control your energy, someone else will control it for you. The more aware you become of your whole energetic system, the more you can control your energy body instead of allowing someone else to do it for you. So why do we keep working against our body and energy and magnetism? Maybe you know that a big bowl of pasta makes you sleepy, but are you listening to your energy the same way in the interactions around you? When you realize that magnetism is about expansion, but your body and energy are contracting, you understand that's why you're not magnetic. Or you may be trying to feel sexual energy, yet there's something else holding you back to prevent you from having this energy flowing in your system. Maybe it's the person in front of you. Maybe it's an energetic reaction based on a previous defense mechanism. But it's crucial that you understand what's your energy doing. Where are you contracting? What's your energy actually telling you? If you're not aware of it, then it's going to be quite hard to develop your magnetism to any great extent. This is exactly the kind of awareness that you need to have. Not just what foods make you sleepy, but in everything else in your life as well, particularly what is related to magnetism, people, and interactions. Energy also moves here. It's not just about the foods that you eat. So our concept of energy is this internal force that you can feel inside and out of your body that affects everything. And magnetism, being mostly an energetic phenomenon, something that is composed of the energy projecting out of your body, even more so. That's why energy awareness is one of the crucial pillars of magnetism. Without this awareness and knowledge of your energy system, you won't be able to train your magnetism. That's why we have developed courses like the Vitality and Energy Training and the Advanced Energy Science, so that you can develop this awareness, the vocabulary, and control over your energy system in a way that's actually useful in your daily life, and most importantly, in expanding your magnetism. See you soon.